Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to discuss about Redux Saga in quite detail, and this is going to be a complete tutorial on Redux Saga. In our previous videos we discussed about Redux, and after that we discussed about session storage on local browsers. But now we are going to discuss Redux Saga in detail, and this is going to be a very important topic because in this topic you will learn about how you can add the Saga middleware in the application to make asynchronous requests to the APIs, or if you need to call any data from the third party, you can call from the Saga. Okay, so let's get started. But before getting started, I will say that please subscribe to my channel. My channel name is Aamir. I have already uploaded almost 68, 69 videos on reactjs. So let me just show you the playlist. Till then, if you have not downloaded the source code, you can get all the complete source code from this website, github/amirpress/reactjs complete course. Here you can get the complete tutorials of source code from GitHub. Because guys, I'm happy to share my source code with you. If you miss anything while working on the projects, I've shared all the complete courses like food ordering app, HTTP requests, presentation, even I've included presentations, React basic topics, hooks, real-time applications, Redux complete project, routing, and all other projects as well as. And you can see here there is also a real-time application on use states, so you can get all these things from here. So it's loading here. Till then, I'm going to show you what is actually okay. It's loaded now. Great. So let me just open it. Just a moment, please. You can see here. This is I have uploaded almost 69 videos on React.js, covered almost different topics, and try to cover all the basics and advanced topics as well as. So last in the last video, discuss about the session storage in React.js, but today we are going to discuss about Saga middleware in React.js. So let's get started, guys. So now you can see here, this is actually the architecture of Redux, but I have added one more layer in it, and that was actually Saga middleware. So what is actually the work of Saga? What actually Sagas do? Saga middlewares do. So when Redux Saga is actually a library that aims to make application side effects like if we can make asynchronous calls, things like fetching data from the third-party APIs, or using accessing the browser caches, or easier to manage or more efficient way to execute the data, right? And also we can also make it not only the API call but also generator methods. We can use the generator methods and Saga middleware, and it is helpful because when we make requests to actions, it actually get the call to reducers, and reducer store the data in the public storage of the Redux, and then it bring back the results on the UI. But when we add the Saga middleware, it is going to add after when we hit the action, it will take the request to Saga middleware, and Saga middleware will take bring the data from the API or the third party controls, and then it will go back to reducer action, and then from action it will go back to reducer. So we have added one layer in it, and the advantage of using the Saga middleware is it will go. So let's suppose I have call data for customers from some application. It will go and bring back the data from the customer. Until then, it did not return back the results. It will not go to reducer and the storage. So this is how the Saga middleware works actually. And action cannot directly access the asynchronous operation because we make API calls. We need to call Saga because we cannot stop our process, so we cannot write actions as an asynchronous methods. So we need to call the Saga for this process. I know this is going to be the daily time. On the daily basis we are going to use these type of technology tech tips, like Saga is very helpful, and Saga middleware is actually a middleware actually between the action and you're bringing back your data from the third party APIs, right guys? And let me get started to it. I'm going to create a practical example. So, I have created one action here, action get books. So by default, what will happen when our page get loads, the data will be there. So let me run the application. Okay. So if you notice here, there is no by default record. So I want to have 2 or 3 or 10 records by default in our application. So let me say that book is book 1 and author name is Alan and rating is very good. So book 2 and author is Sarah. Okay, excellent. Great. So if I refresh my page, in a previous video, we discussed about that, how we can actually store the data on our local browser using the session storage. But you know guys, when I refresh the page for the very first time, you can see here, again, I'm going to show you, there is no data in it. So that means that for having the data by default in our application, we need to make some static data, and I'm not going to show some static data. I'm going to get data from the API. So for that, first let me explain you how you can install this Saga middleware and how you can perform some other actions further. Okay, to install the Saga middleware, all you need to do is you need to run this npm. You can see on my screen npm I for installation Redux Saga. Once you click enter, it is going to store the Saga middleware on our application. So go in the package.json and here you can see Redux Saga. I'm using the version 1.2.2, right guys? So coming back to it. Now, as I already told you, I need to have some default data in our application. So what I'm going to use here, I'm going to use JSON type code. So all you need to do is you need to go in the browser and you type JSON type code and just go in the, because I'm going to get some fake data, going to create some fake APIs and going to get some data. So you need to click on this HTTP GitHub and you need to see type code slash JSON server. I'm going to share this link in my descriptions. So once you will come here, you need to, what you need to do, actually you can read all about this application. We get a full fake REST API with zero coding in less than 30 seconds. It's very easy, so I'm going to give a demo on this. So what you need to do, you need to copy this command and you need to open the CMD at your end. So let me just show you how you can do it. It's very easy process. No need to worry about. Run as administrator. Great. And now, so once it open, very cool. So you need to open where actually you have written your projects. So I have written all my commands here. So I will directly open that project, React projects, and here I've created a database. So I'm going to say here, okay, great. So now here I need to run this command. npm install G is for global JSON server. So it is going to store this command and create a demo application for you, API application for you. So once you've written this, write this, you need to actually, I have already done this part. I have written here db.json. This is my JSON file in which I have already added some fake records. So let me just show you. Okay, great. So now you can see here, I have already created 3 records, right guys? So in this db.json I have already added some records. So once you go and run this command, you need to create one application here, one file here. So once you are done with this, all you need to do is you need to go on the website again and you need to copy this command, start JSON server. You need to copy this and like this. And if you are using the different port, like I've already reserved the 3000 port, so I'm going to say it port 344, like something like this. So currently I'm using this port 3500. So you can write whatever port you want to do. So once you click enter, it is going to show you loading db.json and it is done. So I have run this URL and it's showing me the fake data. So this is how you can quickly you can do this. It's very easy. It's not very complicated. So once you are done with these changes, now in the actions I have written get books. So that means that once our page get loads, by default it is going to call this action, and this action will go to the API and bring back the data and store upload the storage. So now all I need to do is I will go here and create one new folder with the name Saga, right guys? And here I'm going to say manage books, or I use Saga manage books. Great. Okay. So we are done with this part. Now we am going to create a Saga file, and in the Saga file, we need to actually write the generator method and how we can actually call the API. I'm going to show you in detail. So first of all, I'm going to say what actions we can perform here. Let me just show you. So guys, here we can perform actually put methods, API calls, make functions, generator function operator. When we execute asynchronous operations, it returns the result first. Then with generator functions, we need to use yield to actually call the data and to pass the data to the producers. So let's make a practical example of this. I'm going to write add function, and I have written the file name to Saga manage books. Okay, great. And here I'm going to say you all are familiar with this code. There's no any fancy code. Okay, so yield is actually it will wait for this function to execute, URL to execute, and it will bring the data from here and store the data in the this variable, and get the JSON record from here and put the data here in the data field, data variable. After doing all this, I'm going to pass the data to some particular action, giving back data to particular action. So I'm going to say yield put. It is going to put the data to this action, right, guys? And now I'm going to return this. So I'm going to say export default and name of this file. Great. There is no any fancy record. All we need to do is we need to import this action, this actually get books, because we do not know where we are getting this get books. So I have written this get books, and put is actually Redux Saga effects. Right now we are only using the put. We can write take every as well as, and I'm going to explain you in the later on that what is the advantage of using this take every. But right now in this demo we are going to use the put. Put is actually going to put the data in this particular action, again given by the particular action. We can write here try catch, and in the catch we can write other stuff and handle the errors. And for errors we can also write some different actions that where our errors will go. We can do a little more work on it, but I will do that all later on. So once we are done with this, now we are done with the action will go to Saga, and Saga will go back return back the result to this put get methods. And now our request will take us to actions. So what I'm going to do here, I've already written this get books because we have added that in actions. Now I'm going to add here a case. So I'm going to say case get books, and here I'm going to write whatever we get data from the API. I'm going to store that data in our sessions. Cool. And after that, once our data is get stored, I want to return this data to. Okay, great. So now these books will have the data for whatever data it gets from the API will store in the books. Cool, guys. So we are done with the implementation of. We have updated the action. We have updated the reducer. Accordingly, what data we get from the API, we will upload our sessions, and we have also added the Saga. In Saga, we have make a request to the API and bring back the data and return back data to our actions. Great. Now we need to update our stores as well, as because in store we are now we need to actually write our store in a way that it is going to support the Saga middleware as well as. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to commit all this code. Great. And now I'm going to update our store. So I'm going to write here few imports. Previously we have used create store, root reducers, and create store as well as. So now configure store, and then we have root reducers because we have all the reducers There in the root reducer from index, it will return back all the reducers and the saga. You can see here saga. Saga actually bring back all the sagas, but right now we have only one saga, so I've directly written the saga managed books, right? And here the new thing is create saga middleware from Redux Saga. So it is going to create a saga middleware. So how it is going to create? All I need to do is I need to write constant saga middleware and create saga middleware. So this is going to create a saga middleware, but how it is going to configure with the store existing store, because right now store is not supporting the saga middleware. So what I'm going to do here, we need to write like this. I will say store is equal to configure store. Now I'm going to update one more thing here in the store. Previously we are only handling the reducers, but now I'm going to say middleware as well as, and it will get the saga middleware from this the create saga middleware, right guys? So now I'm going to say run middleware and return the store. How easy it is to create a saga middleware and actually collaborate that middle saga middleware with our store. But this way we need to write this middleware and we need to pass the, if we have more than one stores, then I'm going to return like this index file. But right now we have only one saga middleware store. I do not need to write all, right? So get back to our application and refresh this page. So I need to run this application. Okay. So I have started this application. So till then we need to make one more change here on the UI side, because guys, we have already written this thing that we have action and action get books, but we are not calling that action get books and getting the data from it. So I've used the use effect. So whenever a page gets loaded first time, it will call this action and bring back this data, right? So I hope that makes sense to you, because in our previous video we discussed about these use effects in quite detail, and action getbooks will actually dispatch this request to the action, and action will dispatch the request. You can see here like this. First, the actual request will go to action getbooks, and it will make the request to Saga middleware, right? Saga middleware will bring back the data and will bring the data back to action, and it will take that data to a reducer, and it will upload our states and our store and show the data on the UI. So let's check this out. It's loading our application. So let's see what results we are going to get. It's actually starting the development server. I hope everything is going to work fine. Still it's loading. Till then, let me show you what we have currently did on the Saga. We have put this effects for Saga reducer, Redux Saga, and then it will upload, get the data from the API and put the data in this particular direction. So actually loading our, okay. So you can see by default we get this particular data. So let me show you how all this works. I've run the F12. Congratulations, it should work on the very first time. So let me just show you sources. I will show you how this all actually works in the backend. Okay, great. So I have, okay, code, great, put this here and here. Okay, so let me just refresh our page. Okay, you can see here we get the data from the API, and I'm going to press F8. Okay. Let me just bind all these things. Looks fine. Looks fine. And action, the actions, I will say, okay, cool. Okay, so it's working fine. It's first it goes to action and then it goes to Saga, and after that it bring back the data to action, and action take the request to Saga reducer, and then reducer uploaded this, which looks good to me. I'm going to refresh this one more time, and I'm going to show you. Now I'm going to add one more. I'll just add one more item to it. Okay, bring back the data. Saga that will take to the data to the reducers, and how this is actually all is working. And now I'm going to add one more record here. That is test book one, Alex. Very good. So you can see here. Now I'm going to refresh this page, and we are not going to actually uh, have refreshed this page, and by default it actually loads the data here. Let me just check it why. Okay, it's working fine because on the load we said that we only need 3 records whenever the page gets loads for the first time. I'm going to say Harry. No, I'm going to say PHP, and author name is Tim. Let's suppose Tim. I'm going to say book is not available, but rating is excellent. Great. So in available we have 3 books, and total we have 4 books. So guys, this is how we are going to working with the Redux. So I'll explain in detail that how we actually are working. First, the request will go to action. Action will make a request to Saga middleware, and let me show you on the project as well as you can say first I make the request, or whenever the page get loads, I call this action, right? That will bring the get books, and this action will call this particular action, and it will go to, it will check this type name get books, and it will go to Saga, and the Saga it will for it, we have written only one method here function, but we can write many as you want. But in that way we need to write different code, little bit changes in the code, that what action have called what particular method. So but here we have only one example of this, so it will call this data and it will put this data in this particular action. It will go back here, and here now we have the data in this action. So now it will go to the reducer, and on the reducer we have written that whatever action have returned the data, we need to store that in the session whenever the page get loads for the first time, and we will update this books record state and show the data on whenever the page get loads for the very first time, right? And it is behaving fine. So this is how we are actually working with this. Whenever a page will load first time, it will uh, return the data direction, and then reducer and stored will update, and UI will be show, right? So I hope you understand the concept of the Redux Saga, and if you have any question, please reach out to me, and I'm happy to share my knowledge with all of you. And I'm going to share the source code on my project. Don't forget to subscribe and like my channel and share my videos on the social network, because I am doing the real time creating the real-time examples of the Redux and this reactjs, so that you can learn in detail. Thank you very much guys, have a good day.